Hi, I'm Joey. The artifact I'm going to introduce is the Gillette short film, The Best Man Can Be. The Best Man Can Be advertisement is a corporate social responsibility advertising campaign launched by safety racer and personal care brand Gillette in January 2019. On January 13, 2019, the campaign launched with a commercial entitled We Believe, which played upon the brand's longtime slogan to address negative behavior among men, including bullying, sexism, sexual misconduct, and toxic masculinity. The reasons that I chose this advertisement is because it's emphasized on the toxic masculinities we are facing today and how men can change differently, which we are focusing on. It also has been controversial around the topic of masculinity ever since it was published. The term toxic masculinity was reportedly first used by psychologist Shepard Bliss in the 1980s and 1990s. Bliss sought to separate the negative traits of men from the positive traits and used the term toxic masculinity as a means of making the distinction. Traits that Bliss defined as being toxic to masculinities include avoidance of emotional expressions, the over-aspirations for physical, sexual, and intellectual dominance, and the systematic devaluations of women's opinions, bodies, and sense of self. These can be seen in the ad, where at the beginning several topical issues related to masculinity was pointed out, such as
bullying,
the Me Too movement against sexual harassment,
masculinity.
Clearly, Hair's Gillette advertisement was trying to say men are acting bad and being toxic. And the reason for this is because, as Connell said, men that are being toxic are trying to be in control and dominant through violence, intimidations, or harassment. Those people do not think they are deviant. On the contrary, they feel entirely justified and exercising the right. They are authorized by an ideology of supremacy. Moving on to the next part, where the roles of men repeating the sentence, boys will be boys.
Same old excuses.
Boys will be boys.
Boys will be boys. Boys will be boys.
But something finally.
This is not only promoting the gender stereotype and toxic masculinity among young people, but also the idea that boys are inherently aggressive, that they should learn to fend for themselves and use violence as a tool, that empathy, affections, and vulnerabilities are somehow emasculating. It also attempts to put a neat and tidy bounds of oversimplification on individual behavior. In the end of the short film, it then shows some examples of positive masculinity behavior.
Smile, sweetie.
Come on.
To say the right thing. To act the right way.
Bro, not cool. Not cool.
Some already are.
Undeniably, men have changed over time. As Eric Anderson argued, recent shifts in the social and cultural landscape have brought about the development of more inclusive or non-homophobic forms of masculinity. The decrease in level of cultural homohysteria, which is the fears of being homosexualized, enabled men to develop softer, more expressive and tactile forms of masculinity. In general, the controversial ad was a bold commentary on negative masculinity stereotype, and importantly, offered a different model of masculinity. Before, popular media portrayed problematic behavior like sexism and aggression for men, which helped normalize such hyper-masculine behavior in real life. But Gillette's campaign urged men to challenge the stereotype and provide better example for the next generation. However, the commercial is being problematic when it's telling people what behavior is toxic and what is not. Society is already brimming with stereotypes like this, where people who don't conform to gender binary more often than not will face discrimination and hatred. The advertisement adds more fuel to that conversations by priming gender binary norms and ultimately strengthening stereotype. Besides, video is also defining every man as toxic at the beginning, which ignore the fact that they are a virus of masculinities. The claim of singular, real masculinity had been already rejected since the late 1980s by the new sociology of masculinity led by the sociologist Ryan Cornell. As Cornell described, multiple masculinity are shaped by class, race, culture, sexualities, and other factors, often in competitions with one another as to which can claim to be more authentic. Hence, with this in mind, describing all the men as being toxic masculinity will only trigger the public's anger. Even that said, the purpose of Gillette advertisement was to make the society a better place for both genders, and it's encouraging to see that they have taken a step into right directions. That's it for the vlog. Thank you for watching.